do clear taillights, they said. It'll be fun, they said. It'll look great. Well, they do look good, but it was by far fun. It was by far from great. It was the most tedious, redundant thing I've ever done to this car, and it will be the last tedious, redundant thing that I will ever do to this car. So with that being said, we shall take this to this. So yeah, stick with me and I'll show you how. The many ways of doing it that I've learned that I will teach you so you can do it right the first time and not the 300th time like me. See you soon. Okay, so first thing you want to do is take out the actual taillight, the whole housing and everything. You got 4 bolts, but if yours is decrepit like mine, some of your bolts will probably break as you're trying to take it off. You got these tiny ass little nuts. I don't know the size. I used a adjustable wrench because I don't have a socket small enough. They look to be maybe a 6mm. I did have a 10mm on there too. I don't know if that's factory or not, but we'll just roll with it. After you do that, you got this little clip here. It just slides off like so, and you take the lights out. There you go. Step 1 and 2 is done. Step 3, you gotta bake it. And yes, that means putting it inside of your oven and baking it. So we'll go do that and I'll explain that once we get inside. Okay, so you gotta set your oven 200 degrees. Let it preheat. Then you stick it in for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'd start off at 10. See how sticky the original glue is. If you can peel it off easy, cool, peel it off easy, be done with it. If it doesn't come off easy, put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so. Whenever you do put it in the oven, rack at the bottom, and then either some glassware or a piece of wood if you got it, like a 2x4 or something. You don't want the headlight or headlight or taillight assembly, whatever one you're doing, touching anything metal. Not because it's dangerous or anything, but the metal will be essentially hotter than the glass or the wood, and it could potentially melt. I mean, if you're doing these clear lenses, you're probably not going to worry too much about the old lens, but the housing is what you'd be worried about. So yeah, let's let it heat up and then put it in there, and it'll come back after that's done. Alright, let's take it out. Always wear gloves because it is hot. Alright. Once you get it out, you just start slowly peeling away. Most of the time it should come right off. Depending on how old it is and if it's ever been done before. You got these little tabs here, and I'm not really too worried about it because the new one doesn't have tabs, and most of mine's old and decrepit and it's already falling apart. You just gently go around and sticking the butt head between the lens and the housing, and it should eventually just peel right off. Like so. And there is how you do that. So once you get it open, this is what the inside looks like. Since I'm going to be running LEDs, I'm going to reshoot it with some newer silver and let that dry. But since it is out of daylight outside, since it is no longer daylight, squeezing out the back door. Oh, that's a big frog. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see me. It's dark. It's raining. So after you tear it apart, I got silver metallic. I don't know if the camera's focusing or not. I see some water. I got silver metallic, just auto paint spray from AutoZone. It was like $10 I think for that can. Spray the whole housing silver, and then you get the new lens on, and that's what it's going to look like. I messed up a little bit down there. You can kind of see a little bit of the black, but I'm not worried about that. I'll update you guys tomorrow whenever it's daylight, and I can spray paint and finish sealing it. So yeah, next time you see me, it'll be tomorrow. What's going on, everyone? It is the next day. Time to continue with this headlight, or I keep calling it a headlight because it's clear lenses. It's making me think of headlight. Taillight install. Before I go any further, I want to tell you guys one thing I did do with these lenses here. Whenever I purchased them, the silver on the back, if you can see, it only came to the smooth spot all the way around, and whenever you installed it to the light, you could still see this little gullyway, or whatever you want to call it. And so whenever you put it up to the lens, you could see it through the lens. But since I installed or extended the silver paint, you can't see it anymore. It gives it a much cleaner look. All I did with that was I went and I bought this Duplicolor touch-up universal silver paint pen. And I just took my time and went all the way around. And that's how I came with that. Alright, so continue on. Here's the before. And I will show you guys the after in just a second. So I'm just going to do one little light coat, just to, like I said, spruce it up a little bit, make it a little more shiny, because it was dull. It had gray, dark gray, black spots in it. Got one run. I'm not too worried about it. That's going to be part of the section you can't see with the light. I did spray over the reflector. My light, I don't care. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. I see one spot there I'm going to try and touch up. So I'm going to do that, let it dry, and then come back with the next step. So yeah, see you then. Now for the fun part. Get this stuff here. It is window weld ribbon sealer. Pretty much all it is butyl tape. And what you need to do, this is the easiest slash most difficult part of the thing. You can mess it up, but at the same time you cannot. So you just take sections at a time, like this, stretch it a little bit, and kind of just shove it inside this crack here, all the way around. Now it might feel like it's not gonna stick. Trust me, it'll stick. It might chip off some of the paint, but most of the paint that it chips off, if you do it right, you will not see it from the outside. You just go around and you put it inside this little crack. Now you want to leave some hanging out, because that's what the lens is going to stick to. So kind of be generous with it, but then don't worry at the same time. I know it's kind of contradicting, but it's the best way I can explain it. You'll see in a little bit. you'll probably have to come back in some spots and add more. And then you'll probably most definitely have to cut some excess off in a little bit. Okay, let me do this and I'll come back and I'll show you what it does when it's done. Okay, so the reason for the butyl tape is to not only hold the lens, but to keep the housing weatherproof. I may have went overboard on some areas, and I may have not in other areas. So after you put the butyl tape in, you just kind of line it up, and then you press it on, and hope for the best. Now, if you did not put it in areas where you should have, you can go back and add more. Or you can wait and add some clear silicone along the edges so that it'll seal it also. After this, you can either lay it in the sun for a couple of hours, let it get all nice and sticky and hold on, or you can put it back in the oven for 200 degrees for another 10 minutes or so, and that should make it nice and tacky. As you can see up here, you can actually see right inside the lens, so I'm going to try and add a little bit there. Same with over here, you can see all up in there. Same with there. But yeah, that's pretty much what you want to do, is just make sure you have a nice seal all the way around, because if you don't, then once it rains and stuff, you're going to get moisture. Moisture will destroy the LEDs or any light bulb at that matter, and cause condensation, a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that's it. There you have it. That's the completed product, other than, like I said, rebaking it, and I'm gonna go fill in these things. So yeah, I got a hot stapler in today, so I'm gonna try and fix, let's see, I got some JDM 1 pieces for the cheap because the tabs broke off. So I have one tab. I'm going to try and maybe take the tab off the stock one and see if I can hot staple it to this one, along with the tab I have for this one, hot staple it back together. So I'll be doing a review on that. Bought it from Amazon. It came in today. So yeah, look forward to that video too. Other than that, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.